This is Dryden001 coming at you live from a pre-record video. Today I'm actually going to be doing a Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck list video. I recently made a Blackwing deck. Actually fixed the Blackwing deck. And now I'm trying the best I can to do a video of the deck. There's some interesting thoughts and some commentary, so tune in. First off, we have 3 Blackwing Shura, kind of a given. He's mainly to get out Pinaki or Gale. You don't really want to go for anyone else. Next one is brand new. The Crack of Dawn. I don't know if you can see that. But he's pretty good because he's just like an extra Bora. But you can only use him once per turn. So it kind of adds into a problem with that. But a really good part to him is that once per turn, he cannot be destroyed by a spell or trap card. So it kind of adds into a point of where it can evade Torrential Tribute. Granted, most of the time you won't be using that effect. Or even Bottomless, actually. We have Bora, 3 Bora, of course. Next one on it is 3 Gale, also, of course. Next cards, 3 Kalut, goes without saying. I have 2 Blizzard. Some people like to use 3, I like to use 2 just because of clogginess, because you only are going to be normal summon him, not special summon him. Next one's probably the biggest difference. I have 2 Pinaki. I originally had 0 because I didn't like Pinaki, and so I was working with him trying to figure out, and I decided to throw in the second one. And that was when it kind of, the first one, and then it started working better. It was a little more consistent because I was able to actually recycle Pinaki through a lot of my plays with like Blizzard and stuff like that. Oddly enough, Pinaki is a good card for Blizzard to go with. Just kind of an interesting thought. So yeah, I went from there, and I was deciding, you know what, I'm going to try 2. Tried 2, love it, and I'm working with that. The main reason why I only use 2 is because think of it this way. Do you want to draw into 3 Pinakis? Enough said. It's just whole consistency value. I have 21 monsters in the deck, and then 20 spell and trap cards in the deck. It goes to a really great ratio. With a 5-card draw, you have a 50% chance to get a monster or a spell or trap card. So that's actually really good because then you have like a 50-50, but it's leaned more towards monster side. So you have 3 monsters, 2 spell and trap cards. You need 2 spell and trap cards because that allows you to set 2 or something like that, and your opponent won't MST 1 because they won't want the whole chance. They only MST 1 that they can stop their effect, which is actually a really good play. Now, the reason why I want 3 monsters is because of Pinaki and the synchro summoning. So like you have Blizzard and stuff like that. Blizzard and Kalut are ones that you would want as the 3rd card. Basically, that's really what you want them in. All the others, yeah, they can be there. It doesn't really matter. I'm just going to remove these to the side. Next one, we have Zephyros. I still like Zephyros because I like a play, which is actually kind of interesting. No one's using the play, but I'll show you. So you have Zephyros in the graveyard along with Pinaki. You can also have Gale in the graveyard, doesn't matter. You normal summon Blizzard, special summon Pinaki, and then you activate his effect to bounce back Blizzard, special summon him out. Then you immediately sync these for 7 and go for an Armor Master play or Obsidian. This actually becomes really well because then in the end, you add a card from your deck to your hand. Next turn, Blizzard. It's a really good move. I really like doing it. A lot of people don't use it. They usually use Zephyros to bounce back Call or Fiendish Chain. I like those plays too, but a lot of the times you won't be doing that. So I end up doing that play, which is really fun. And then I also have Soraka. The main reason why I like Soraka is when his normal summon is when he normal summons by his normal summoning effect. I cannot speak right now. I get a bonus off of Black Whirlwind. Can get some really good cards off of Black Whirlwind that aren't really that much limited over to me. So yeah, I can get him off, and then I can also go for where is it? I can go for play normal summon, special, go into Beals. Beals is really not that best of a play, but honestly, out of cards you can play, Beals is probably the best, besides like Quasar and stuff like that. Okay, now moving on to spell and trap cards. We have two Black Roland, pretty self-explanatory. Keep those to the side. Got two Pot of Duality. Any more than two Pot of Duality, it gets kind of cloggy. You don't want to draw into Pot of Duality. We have two Forbidden Lance. I know it's kind of weird in Blackwings, but I still like it because now the new format's a little more OTK Frenzy. Even before then it was OTK Frenzy. But this is a good card to stop those weird back. I still play... Oh, hold on. Still play 2 MST. That's pretty much... I don't know. A lot of people are siding MST, but I find that a lot of the times I win a game because my opponent sides in and out MST. So, I don't want to be that guy. One Allure, of course. One Regeki, of course. Now the trap cards. 2 Akari's Attack. I would put in a third, but I don't really have the room. So, I'm trying to figure out room with Akari's Attack for a third. But at 2, that's what I have right now. I have Fiendish Chain for Zephyros plays and basically to stop any monster effects. It's really good to use because it's not limited to just main phase like Effect Veiler. That's probably why you guys are wondering why Effect Veiler, stuff like that. And it's better than Bottomless. Weirdly enough, I used to go, oh, Bottomless is better because it destroys the card. Well, this negates the card. It doesn't matter if you destroy the card. You can destroy it anyways, usually. Toss those to the side. Call of the Haunted. 2 Call of the Haunted. I like 2. Third one's kind of weird. But I like Call of the Haunting Pinocchio back. That's how I can circulate through and actually bring him back and then go for more plays. It actually works really well. I like using Pinocchio for those. And then you can also go for like bring backs of Synchro Monsters. Bottomless, just because it's still good. It's still a viable, good card. A lot of people aren't playing it anymore, but I still like it because Pendulums really hate it. For some people that don't really know what's going on with Pendulums, it took me a while to figure it out. But if you use this card on when your opponent's Pendulum summons, it destroys them, then banishes them. So they actually skip going back to the top of the extra deck. That's why like Cliffort players don't really like this card. Just for interesting things. Solemn Warning, yeah. Black Sonic. I like using Black Sonic over Mirror Force because I know it's only for Blackwings, but a big play I like to do is because a lot of decks are in a lockdown situation where they cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. For example, Key Beetle Lock or Beals or even goes down to Noble Knights. This card itself can just blow past that, while Mirror Force just doesn't. And so that's why I like playing this card over. Now to the extra deck. I have 2 Armor Master. I run into a lot of the times I end up using a second. Don't ask me why, but I use a second because the main reason is because this guy's still in the field and I need to go for a bigger play. So I go for Armor Master. Because this guy's not gone, so you wouldn't want to use Obsidian while you already have him out. And it actually gives you a lot of bonuses because your hand is gone or stuff like that to bring another one out as opposed to the prior. So that's why I like doing for that. I run 1 Obsidian just because he's a second summon play. Because you always want to special summon him, bring him out. Pretty much straightforward. I have 2 No Thungs because I find I use the second No Thung a lot because I would use this one beginning of the game and then this one mid-game because this guy either removed by summoning or something like that, or I need this card the second time. And next one, I have Armed Wing. he still is good. Because a lot of the times your opponent sets a monster, and you're like, oh, crud. And Bora sometimes doesn't have enough power to go through it. Some decks are viable out there. Yang Zing, for example, is still not top tier, but this can blow over it along with Shadows. So I like running him as a second. I'm running one Beals. Surprisingly enough, I go into him a lot because I can go into him in two ways. One with Sirocco and one with going into weird stuff with No Thung and stuff like that. But I can actually bring him out pretty easily. And the funny thing is, a lot of people are like, oh, don't, Beals, it's a Beals deck. This is not a Beals deck. It's a Blackwing deck. Beals is just an icing on the cake. Next one, we have Leo, Keeper of the Sacred Trees. I like to go into a play where you have like Armor Master on the field or some way to get Armor Master. You have a Pinocchi and you have a way to go into another 7. You just go, boom, pull him out, bring out Leo, and then go Synchro into 7 into Obsidian. Then you just special summon back Armor Master. It's a really fun play, and then you can get like Pinocchi effects off of it too. But it's a really fun play to do because it allows you to bring all those cards back to you. And just go into bigger plays. Because a lot of time I get to a point where Armor Master is the best thing I have. So I have to go into a little bit better. I play one Black Rose Dragon. I actually like how this is set up because this deck is really easy to get out Black Rose or Exciton Knight. And so I find a lot of the times I need to get rid of one card. I just go, yeah, I'll go Black Rose Dragon, just destroy the entire field, and then I continue with game. And a lot of the times I actually do that with Beals on the field because he doesn't get hurt. I also have one Catastor. Running a Catastor, not an Archimedes, because there's not a lot of dark type decks out there that are that viable except Shadows, and a lot of the times you wouldn't be going into Catastor. Speaking of which, Archimedes, I can't protect that much on the field because he just negates the effects. All I have to protect is Fiendish Chain, Bottomless, and all that stuff. So I want a Synchro monster that can be self-protecting or have a high enough attack points. Archimedes is like 2200. This guy can protect himself just because of the fact you have to be dark to destroy him. So I like using this card for that over Archimedes. Next card, Ice Beast Xeraphine, or I call the Lock Destroyer. I love using this card. If you guys don't know what this card is, it is really awesome because it goes in and you detach material. I don't know if you can read this. Yeah, you can. So you detach material, negate all face-up effects your opponent controls. So they're like, ooh, we have, let's say Odd Thought, Vanities. Wouldn't happen because you would have already brought him out, but let's just say, do that, negate its effects. You have any other monster on the field, negate its effects. Key Beetle Lock, negate its effects, completely wipes it out. And if your opponent has spell or trap cards, it would actually lock them where they couldn't do anything. And then she gains 300 attack for every face-up monster other than this card on the field. So you actually easily can get 4,000 attack with this guy easily. It's really cool to use, and it's a really good lockdown ability. Lockdown removal. Next one. Number 101. Pretty self-explanatory. Next one. Exciton Knight. Yep. And Symphonic Djinn. Sometimes I don't want to waste a number 101. Or I want the defense, not the attack. Or it's a thing of I want you to get set. So I end up bringing him out instead. Next one is Cowboy. I know I have No Thung and some people are not using him. But it's really cool because since No Thung can only be used once, sometimes I actually can do 1600 damage. Just go boom, boom, go for game easily. So instead of doing a one Cowboy, I can double Cowboy pretty much. And I kind of like doing that. It's kind of fun. When your opponent's like, oh yeah, 16,000, it's okay. Then you're done. Now moving on to side deck. I have 2 Flying Sea. That's pretty much for Satellar Knights or Geargia, because Geargia is getting some new support. I saw the Deep Diver or something like that. That's actually a really good card. Speaking for Geargias, the new one coming out in OCG, and because I have the deck, the one thing I noticed that it needed is a card to destroy monsters, and it doesn't have that because you get a guy with 2,500 attack on the field, they can't do anything to it. We have 2 spell shattering arrows. I know people like using the other one. I can't remember what it's called. That destroys face-up spell and trap cards. I like using this card though because it I don't know. I just like it better because usually when you side this in, it's for pendulums. Sorry, I'm doing this weird carousel thing. That's kind of weird. And toss. Next one, Black Horn of Heaven. A lot of the times I just want to use this. I don't really have a vanities, but I like using this card because you can lure your opponent in and then just negate it and destroy it and just get rid of it. I don't know. I just like it. Imperial Iron Wall, just for protection against banishing, stuff like that. Also, the new Spiritual Beasts or Ritual Beasts, or whatever they're called now. I have 2 Overwork. Those are for Cliff Forts. I don't know. I have this like weird thing with Cliff Forts. I don't really like them. And Noble Knights. Speaking of which, also don't really like them. I don't know. I just don't really get it. So, have these for that. Pretty self-explanatory in that. I'm running Mind Drain and Soul Drain. Mainly because Mind Drain stops cards in the hand. That's for Necros or basically a bunch of different decks where they use a card in the hand. Soul Drain because it negates monsters that are banished or in the graveyard, so that can actually take out a good portion of the deck without banishing cards and removing my resources in the graveyard. I might throw in a skill drain once I find mine. I'm still looking for it. I have like a bunch, but I want the ultra rare one, so I'm waiting for that. I have Rivalry of Warlords, just because of the whole Wing Beast factor. Because I'm noticing there's going to be some interesting different monster effects, different monsters in a deck with different types. So, if I remember right, Necros has different monster effects. I'm not sure. I was just figuring this is a good tech card, just because. And I didn't want to use the other one because I just like that one much better. Deck Devastation Virus. I can use them with Sirocco. I like another good use for Sirocco, just kind of playing it out. So it's just for smaller decks that you just kind of just don't want to deal with. I don't run Crush card just because it doesn't really work for my deck right now because all my guys are above 1,000 attack. I use this card because it's like old Crush card. The one that doesn't make your opponent's plays much better than yours. I don't know. I just believe that the new makes it weird. And then I have 1 Royal Decree. Just in case if my opponent's playing really weird traps I don't really like, I can just remove them. I only run 1 because I'm running a bunch of other cards and can't really fit it in. So, everyone, that is the end of my deck. Please like, subscribe, comment. If you have any questions on any of my thought processes on building, please comment below. But as always, arrivederci, sayonara, and have a nice day.